the eternal souls of people and their eternal salvation that makes a difference. So please continue. The most important thing we do, I believe, is supporting the spread of the gospel missions. So let's continue to do that in Jesus' name. Well, if you have your Bibles for a few minutes this morning, I'm going to kind of wrap up my series on parables of Jesus. We've been talking about it, and he spoke to them in parables all summer. In the last 3 weeks, we've been looking at Matthew chapter 25. And this trifecta of parables that Jesus gave regarding the last days. So much talk about the last days right now where we live in this, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, the Shemitah, and the blood moons, and the harvest moons, and Rosh Hashanah, which I guess it starts today, right? Doesn't it start? Is that right? Or is today the first day or the last day? Mike, do you know? I think this is the first day, and next Sunday is the last day of understanding the week long of the Jewish New Year, the Hebrew New Year, and then a couple weeks after that is the Feast of Tabernacle, or not a Tabernacle. You know, when you get older, I still have everything that I learned. It's all in there. But it's kind of like the basement, you know, or like your desk. Some of you at your desk. You know, I know it's here somewhere, but I can't find it. And that's what it just did. And when I try to recall it, it goes and hides. So I apologize for that. But I know that in the Jewish calendar, big important days right now, and they're look at things. I want to say this, and Dave Morris and I were talking about this morning. He maybe touched about it in Sunday school class. There's a lot of stuff out there now about the last days and what's happening in the Jewish calendar and all that. And all that's, it's okay to look at it. Just don't get carried away. There are some out there who are preaching doom and gloom in the stock market and all of that because of the blood moons and at the end of the 7-year sabbatical cycle and all of that. Look, and so some people are afraid right now. Some people are just really concerned, thinking that, and there's some out there prophesying and preaching, and I don't know if they're true false prophets or if they're real true prophets or what, but about the economy's going to collapse, because that's what happened in 2001, and then we had 9/11, and then we had the same thing in 2008. Here we are 7 years later, the third of these sabbaticals cycles, and so some are saying the whole stock market's going to crash, and you can see it. But listen, can I tell you this? God is in control. And just like he opens doors for these guys in a closed country, even though the country is saying you can't do that, you can't be here, and she said they plug their phones in the house as well. And just, man, I can't even relate to that. Growing up here in America, where we complain about the police, but compared to what they have to, some of you are from other countries, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen some of that firsthand. We don't even have to deal with that. But in the midst of all of that, God is in control. And his children don't have to be afraid, because our support arm, our financial provision, all that is not Wall Street. It's not the stock market. It's not the Tokyo markets or the London markets or New York markets or any of that. It's the God of heaven, who the earth, the heavens are his, and the earth and the fullness thereof belong to him. Amen. The cattle on 1,000 hills belong to God, and so does the dirt and the grass and everything. It's all God's. And we don't have to live in fear, because the God who we've sung about, the God who we worship this morning, the God who looked in there and talked about his faithfulness, he has promised he will take care of us, and he will provide for all of our needs. So we don't have to be afraid, and we can continue to be faithful and do our part as we trust him in these last days. Jesus gave us these parables to look at and to warn us and what he's looking for. I'm so much more interested in what God is looking for from us than what man is looking for from God. And we need to be concerned, and this is what Jesus was sharing. So 2 weeks ago we talked about the parable of the 10 bridesmaids and the 10 virgins, and we talked about how that they need to be on the ready. And remember what we talked about, that these 10 bridesmaids, they all represented people who claimed to be believers. So we're not even talking about, this isn't about, all the good people in the world and then all the bad people. This is talking about people who claim allegiance to Jesus, but Jesus says, not everybody. As we said in Matthew, in the beginning of his ministry, in Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, 22, and there he says, not everybody Christ, the Lord of Lords, going to walk into the kingdom. But he who does the will of the Father. And what is the will of the Father? It's to go and carry the gospel into all the world. It's to care for people. It's to love people. It's to be moved in compassion, to act. The word compassion means with passion, as Carrie said, with passions. You can't have passion without affecting your emotions, and you can't truly have that without impacting how we live and what we do. And what this parable we're going to look at today with the sheep and the goats is about that, because the difference between the sheep and the goats is not the good people, the spiritual people, and the evil people. This is about people who claim allegiance to Jesus, but Jesus says some of them are sheep and some of them are goats. How many of you ever seen some counterfeit money? Anybody ever seen that you didn't realize it was counterfeit until maybe you tried to spend it? I took something to the bank one time, and they said, "Where'd you get this?" And I said, "Oh, just picked it up a certain place. This isn't real." "Well, it looks real to me." How many of you know sometimes things can look real, but they're not really real? How many of you ladies have got some knockoff purses? You know what I'm talking about, knockoff purses? You know the real expensive, I don't even know what they are. I don't know if they're Gucci or whatever, I don't know. I don't care, I'm a guy, and I'm a guy. I don't carry a purse, I don't carry a man's bag. I don't. But I know you ladies, purses, that's important stuff. And you know it's important when you see the prices on some of these things. Have you ever seen some of the prices on some? I mean, it's amazing to me what you guys will pay, what you ladies will pay for a purse. It's scary. Okay? I mean, it's not like something important like golf clubs or tools or stuff like that. Don't mess with our tools, right? Richard, you know what I'm saying? Don't pay. Hey. But you ladies with these, and then of course the shoes have to match the purse and all that, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. But I also know there's those real things, and then you go to these places, these vendors who sell the knockoffs, right? The ones that look like, but they're not real, but it's okay because I can't afford the real one, so I'll settle for the knockoff, right? I know that, well, everybody, several years back, we got all excited about the Rolex watches. Maybe Rolex is a great watch, right? But then there's the knockoff Rolex, right? Or Rolexes, right? So it's important, and what Jesus is talking about here in the parable of the sheep and goats, talking about real and counterfeit. They all look the same. So let's look at it. Before we do that, look at this. You guys see this over here on these pretty flowers? All right, from where you're standing, is this real or is this memorized? Are these real or are they fake? Real. Well, come closer, Carl. All right? How? Are these real or are they fake? Well, come a little closer. Stop. All of them look real? What if I told you that there are 6 plants there? 3 of them are real, and 3 of them are not. Which ones are real? Well, these are both real. The ones in water? These are in water, these are in dirt. These are in dirt. What if I put them in water with food? Hey, not just a pretty face here, okay? So what do you think? What about the other ones? There's only one of them that's actually in water. Yeah. Obviously, they're similar. So which ones of these are real? Okay. So here's the point. For us, it's hard to tell, isn't it? And the story of the parable of the sheep and the goats, Jesus says that when the Son of Man comes, let's look at what it says. Let's read it together. I'll get back to the flowers in a second. So we're in chapter 25 of Matthew, verse 31. So we're going to read this. I need you to listen fast. I'm going to read it fast just for time's sake, okay? When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another in the same way that a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. And I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go and visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these my brothers and sisters, you did it for me." Amen. And then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." They also will answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and we did not help you?" He will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. Lord, I pray that you anoint not only the reading of the word, hearing of the word. Let it go forth and accomplish what you have for today. Help me to speak quickly but clearly, Lord, of what you want to say to us today. In Jesus' name, amen. Jesus says when he comes in his glory. So we're talking about the last days. And we're talking about, unlike the parable of the 10 virgins or even the parable of the talents we talked about last week, now he's already come back. So if we're going to fast forward, he's already come back. One of the things he's going to do is he's going to separate the sheep and the goat. So, and if you understand anything, I'm not a shepherd, I don't play one on TV, but for what I understand about this, and especially over in the Middle East, they allow, the shepherds will allow the goats and the sheep to graze together because they get along. Because it's not a problem. And even from a distance, it can be difficult to recognize the difference between the goats and the sheep. But they go there. But from what I understand, at the end of each day, one of the last things that the shepherd does is he separates the sheep and the goats because they have different needs. They have to be cared for differently. One of the things I read about the sheep, you know, the Bible over and over and over again calls God's followers sheep. Okay? And so there's some things that we can say and think about sheep that's really a cool thing because sheep are they're mellow and they're gentle and cuddly little creatures and all of that, right? They get along and all that. And that's fine. But there's some other things about sheep. Did you just say that, Mike? What'd you say? Yeah, they're dumb. Now remember now, our loving Heavenly Father has referred to us as what? Sheep. Okay? And sheep are really, because they're dumb, they really get in trouble when they don't have shepherd. Jesus looked at the people, and one time the Bible describes it this way. It says he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. Do you know what happens to sheep who don't have a shepherd? They die. One way or another, they die. Do you know that if a sheep falls down on its back and is on its back, unless somebody comes along and picks him up, he's going to die because he can't get back. Does that sound familiar? So we fall down sometimes and we can't get up. But the shepherd. shepherd, comes along and he picks us up because he loves us. If you ever want to do something really cool, I have a book. It's about the 23rd Psalm. A shepherd looks at the 23rd Psalm. Fascinating. Very simple to read, but so profound. And to fully understand what David was talking about. And I encourage you to get it. A shepherd looks at Psalm 23. But to look at that and the whole idea of what a shepherd does. Do you know that sometimes you get a rebellious sheep who refuses to stay close to the shepherd? Keep wandering away. Well, what happens to the sheep that wander away from the flock? The further away they get, they become what? More vulnerable, right? Predators come. How many know there are predators in the world? Right? And they come, and the ones who get attacked are the ones who drift away from the safety of the flock and the protection of the shepherd. The sheep that live the longest and live the healthiest are the ones who live closest to the shepherd. Sheep, though they're dumb, they're very loyal, and they learn to recognize the voice of the shepherd. That's why Jesus said, my sheep recognize, the word know, they recognize my voice. You moms, you understand this, right? You can be in a room where there's a billion kids, but if yours cries, don't you recognize the cry of your child? Okay. Well, always know this. God always recognizes the cries of his child. But the sheep also recognize the voice of the shepherd. Why? It comes from familiarity. And I heard a story about the shepherd, about you get this rebellious sheep that keeps running away. Do you know what a shepherd does with a sheep that keeps running away? He takes that sheep and he snaps, he breaks one of his legs. But then what he does, because this is a dumb sheep, he now has a broken leg, and he cares for that sheep, and while he heals, while that little sheep heals, he carries them around. And what happens while he's blind? Listen to me, folks. Sometimes in our rebellion, in our abject stupidity, running from God, once in a while, God's got to break our leg. He doesn't do it because he hates us. He doesn't do it because he's trying to meet. He does it because he knows if he lets us keep running on four good legs, we're going to run off into our own destruction. But he loves us enough that he'll break a leg. Now, here's the cool thing about God. As a creator, he knows how to break our leg without doing permanent damage. Listen, this you're not going to get this on TBN. Okay, where everything's all, and God bless TBN for what they do, but in some ways anyway, but I'm talking about that everything's always a blessing. I'm going to start a series in 2 weeks. Your bulletin says next week. It might start next week, but it's called, and I want you to tell all your friends and invite them. The series for 6 weeks, When Life is Hard. Just like curiosity. Anybody here, does life ever get hard for you? Is there anybody here who say, Pastor, I don't need that one, I'll see you in 7 weeks, because life is never hard for me? Anybody at all? Anybody? Okay? All right. I know better. Don't make me. Tell what I know. Okay? I wouldn't do that. We all got problems. Okay, life gets hard. So listen, you need to be here. You need to make sure because this is a great series. I'm really excited about this series. When life is hard. But when life is hard, God is still in control. And he's always faithful. And he knows what we need. And as a shepherd, he'll do what's necessary to save our eternal lives. That means we have to be disciplined. That's what he'll do. But while we're healing, they bond. And so the story is, the concept is, that even then, when that sheep is fully healed and now can run again, he's fallen so in love with the shepherd that even after he puts him down, that sheep won't be inside. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some of what you're going through right now is God's trying to get you to fall in love with him and trust him to know so that you won't be inside. The sheep and the goats, they together, but they got to be separate. Let me tell you about goats. Goats are some of the most selfish animals there are. Do you know that, you ever watch, the Animal Planet channel and all that, and you watch how the mother will go and get food, right, and she'll bring it back to her cubs, lions and bears and tigers or lions, right? Do you know that a mama goat will actually knock her kids, literally that's what we call them, kids, they'll actually knock them away from the food, and the goat, and she'll eat all the food herself. She'll eat until it's all gone. We have a little dog that every time she hears somebody in the kitchen, and here she comes, tail just go wagging, and she looks at you. You know how sometimes you can look at a dog's face, and it's like you understand everything they're saying. It's like, hey, you got something for me? You got something for me? It doesn't matter. We open the fridge, here she comes. You open the silverware drawer, and here she comes. It doesn't matter. And the vet told us you got to stop giving her all that food. Because Connie just won't stop with us BS. I'll share it with her a little bit. But she's so funny. She comes around, and it's like she won't stop. And there have been times where, like, we go and get some ribs from Shane's or something like that, and I'll give her one of the bones, and she wants more. And to the point that she eats so much that then she goes in the other room and then throws it all back up. Now, we learned to stop doing that. Stop looking at me like that, Carl. Now you're going to get one of some of the fake ones. The goat will eat, she'll eat all, won't share, and she'll eat even more. Think of the spiritual application. Sheep and the goats. Now look, growing up in church, I've heard this story, this parable all my life, sheep and the goats, sheep and the goats. And I just always assumed that the sheep, that's the good people, those are believers. Actually, I guess I should be on this side, it's my right. So the sheep over here, goats over here, no reflection of who's sitting here. Okay? And Jesus separated. And so you think that okay, that's all the Christians, that's all the believers, that's all the good people. This is the wicked people. Okay, these are the Hitlers and the Mansons and all that. It's evil people, right? Your boss or your ex or whatever. The bully next door. But I was reading this week and it just dawned on me. That ever happened to you when you read the Bible? I hope it does. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't about the good and the evil. This is about people who claim to be followers of Jesus. And that amongst those who claim to be followers, there are sheep and there are goats. Because if we were talking about the good and the evil, this would not be the sheep and the goats. This would be the sheep and the pigs. Or it would be the sheep and the wolves. Do you understand that? So there are more groups than just this. What we're talking about here, and Jesus, when he comes in his glory, he's talking about his people. When he says he gathers all the nations, that's actually talking about all the rest of the nations of the world who are the Gentiles. But he's talking to, and Matthew, remember the Gospel, Matthew was written to the Hebrews. Now it has application for us, but his focus, he was writing to the Jews to try to tell them, hey, this is the Messiah, this is the one, this is the guy we've been looking for. And what he said was, in the last days, when I come, I'm going to separate the sheep and the goats. Those who claim to be followers of God, and those who aren't. And the goats are the ones who eat all the food only for themselves and don't know the cliff. And they don't care about everybody else. And that's why they have to separate, so before they feed them, so there'll be enough food for the rest of the sheep. So the point is, Jesus said, I'm going to separate these. And from a distance, they may look the same, but he knows. Notice that Jesus doesn't ask them, he doesn't say, okay, all the sheep, I want you to line up over here, and all the goats, you guys line up over here. Who does the separating? Jesus. He does. Now why is that significant? Because the decision will already be made. In fact, when he goes through them and he tells them why you are the sheep and why you are the goats, they both had an answer. Remember what it said? It says, and first he goes to those on the right and says, good job. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. When I was naked, you gave me clothes. When I was sick, you visited me. When I was in prison, you gave me salt. You know what? And it says, and they answered him. And they said, when do we do that? Jesus, true sheep, they do what's right without having to constantly think about it. Why is that? Because you get so close to the shepherd and you become like him, you just do what he does. Go back to the Good Samaritan. The 3 people who walked by the man in need, what happened? They all saw him. But 2 of them saw him and went to the other side of the street. 1 of them saw him. And despite what he had to go do, despite what his schedule was, despite the inconvenience to him, despite what it cost him, he stopped what he was doing and he helped. The difference between the sheep and the goats is they all see, but how they respond. And it wasn't about trying to impress God. It wasn't about, oh, I'm a Christian, so I need to do this. It was about born out of who God was inside of them. In fact, Jesus said, I don't know you, to the goats. The ones who claim to know him because of all the cool stuff that they did. We prophesied. We go to church. We give. Those are good things and you should do that. But you can't trust that that's what's going to be enough. Because the litmus test that Jesus is talking about here, if I'm reading this right, how do you respond when you see people in need? Here's the problem. You say, Pastor, aren't you talking about works? Salvation? No, that's not what this is talking about. Salvation is by grace, it's the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. It's not about what we do. But it is also true that faith without works is dead. And a true salvation experience, a true move of God in our hearts, should and must move us to compassion and to action. If we find ourselves, even unconsciously, sitting back and not, this is not about what they did, it's about what they didn't do. James said it this way, he says, him who knows to do good, or what is right, and doesn't do it, to him it is sin. We focus all the time on stuff that people do. If you do this, and you do this, and you do this, you're going to hate it. Jesus says, the reason you're going there is because of what you didn't do. Because a true experience with Jesus will and must change who we are and change the way we see others. Amen. So the test for us, and look, it'd be easy for us to sit here and say, yep, them folks over there, it'd be easy for us to sit here and say, yeah, I'm thinking of somebody right now who thinks they're a sheep and they're a goat. That's not what this is about. This is for each of us to search our hearts. Jesus' warning here is to say, this is what I am going to make to the church. It ain't up to them. He didn't ask all the ones there. He didn't look at them and say, okay, which one do you think is sheep? Or which one do you think? He's the one that will decide. Both of them answered. Lord. They didn't. It was like, we didn't remember you, Jesus. I'm sure if you could come into one of our... We went and saw some people in prison, and we visited people when they're sick, and we gave some people food. We remember you. Jesus says, because you did it to these, the least of us, you did it to me. And the others answered too. Lord, we've seen you. We take care of you. We were looking for you. We never did see you. In fact, we knew we had some stuff. We were saving that for you. Jesus said, because you didn't do it, you saw those others. You saw those others. And you didn't do it. And so, your confession of faith means nothing to me because it's not real. It's just pretty, fake flowers. So we separate them. These are the real ones. We got a birthday this week, ladies. We got a birthday this week. Anniversary. And getting married. Again. Sandra, go try it. Go try it. We love you, Sandra. Welcome back, Michelle. Okay. Girl, Dane, I forgive you for looking at me. You're right. Now, if anybody wants, the only ones who look pretty, you're welcome to them after this, okay? If you have them on a first come, first served basis. No, I mean, they have, there's a point where all illustrations break down. The point was that what we see. So look, here's the thing, and I'm wrapping up with this. This message has application to us, each of us, as individuals. But it also has application, I believe, to churches. I believe there will be a separation of the sheep churches and the goat churches. It starts with each of us individually. So I ask you this morning, not at this time, please know, I'm not judging. I'm not here to condemn anybody. Jesus hasn't come back yet, so there's time to change camps. Unlike in real life, where a goat can't become a sheep and a sheep can't become a goat, spiritually, we move. We're goats. Those of us who are sheep, and I hope we all are, we have become sheep. Not because we said, I want to be a sheep, but we said, I want to follow Jesus, and Jesus said, you're a sheep. And look, I know that may sound silly to the world, but you know what I'm talking about. Because He changes us. Remember that verse in Corinthians that says, we become new creation. Old things pass away. All things become new. We stop being the goat who wants to just eat, and doesn't know when to stop. We stop being the goat who won't share, only cares about himself and is selfish. And we start being tender and gentle and meek. And yeah, we're still dumb, but we still need a shepherd. And that's why we have to stay close to the shepherd. So I challenge you this morning. It's not about, you're not going to work with, you're not going to impress Jesus so that He'll like you more. It's not. Every other religion, that's how they try to get to heaven. I get to God if I can do, if the books, some it's like, if I can do enough good. As long as I do just one or two more good things than I do bad things, then in the end I'm going to be okay. Because none of us are good, Jesus said. But He said, look, if you're going to be my sheep, this is how all men will know that you're my disciples. It's not how you become a disciple, but this is how they're going to know that you actually become a disciple. If you have love for one another. And that word love means love, and they're like, yeah, I love you, whatever. It means I love you enough to have compassion. I bear your burdens. Listen, Zach talked about the definition of love in 1 Corinthians 13. It plays out in our lives. Oh, look, I'm not asking you to sell your house and give everything you have to the Salvation Army or to the Renegades or all that. They don't mind. That's not what we're talking about either. We're talking about doing what we can, doing what we should. Each of us as individuals. Do you have compassion on them? Do you help take care of others? There is a direct correlation to taking care of the poor, to taking care of the needy. It's our responsibility. It's our job. And there's spiritual application, there's physical application. I know all. The bottom line is search your heart this morning. And look, when we do it, and when our motivation is the right one, that's why the sheep go, wow, when did we see you? It's like they were just doing it, they weren't even thinking about it. It became second nature. for us, it also has application as a church. I want that Christian life someday, but I'm so desperate to be a sheep church. Be the kind of church that when we see the needs of people, we respond. And of us, Jesus says, and of a stranger, you welcome me in. You know, that's one of the things as a church, Marty and I are talking about this week. It's one thing we've done that. Even for as long as I've known this church, I've been involved and related to this church. Even when we visited 4 or 5 years before we ever knew we were going to be here as pastors, we came to visit. One thing we walked out and said, of all things you can say about that, we were welcome. And even though the faces and the names have changed, I believe we continue. It's one of the things we do well. Please don't ever stop. And if you're doing that, bravo, bravo, keep doing it. And if you're not doing it, come on, join the party in God's grace. Let's continue to do that. Strangers come, let's welcome them. But that includes, people ask me all the time, Pastor, why do you let the Koreans, why do you let the Hispanics and all that? There's a lot of things we cannot do. We don't have the ability to do right. We can open our doors. We can let the Ghanaians have a service where the Lord comes and speaks to them and lives are changed. Look, I don't care who gets the glory so long as people's names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. I don't care. If all it costs me is a little bit of utility power and the inconvenience of having to come up here or having Joe or whoever come up here and open the door to let them in, maybe have to clean up after them once in a while. Big deal. We've got to stop thinking about what it inconveniences us and start thinking about what the alternative is. And that is, they don't get in, and perhaps we don't get in. So let's be a church that feeds the hungry. It gives water to the thirsty. It gives clothes to those who need it. Let's be that. And look, it ain't just spiritual. It's the food of the man that opens the doors. I want to go over to the school, to the elementary school, go to the principal and say, what can we do? How can we bless you? I still want to have a teacher appreciation day where maybe we go over there on a teacher work day and we serve them lunch. And you might sit there and you go, that's a great idea, Pastor, let's do that. You know what I need? I need those of you to give, and I need those of you to come and take that day off, and let's go over there as a church. Let's 50 of us go over there. Let's 60 of us go over there. Let's 70 of us go over there and say, we appreciate you. Maybe we can do it for the police department or the fire department up the street. Let's think outside the box. Jesus blesses the cup of water given his name because you've done it. To the least of these, my brethren, you've done it. Man, that's just... Let's not be the steward who was unfaithful, who was wicked, Jesus said, and buried your talent. Let's take it, let's put it to work, and see what God will do. Oh, to be his hands extended, reaching out to the oppressed. Let me touch him. Let me touch Jesus, so that others may know and be blessed. Father, I pray right now for each of us here. God, I want to believe with all my heart that every one of us will be counted by you as being sheep and not goats. I choose to believe that because I think these are pretty terrific folks. But I know that we all have days and I know that we all have moments. God, I pray you search our hearts. Lord, we're not looking to try to work our way so that you'll like us better or we can impress you with our words. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, God, work on our hearts and change us to be more like you so that when we see them, we have compassion. Over and over we see in the scriptures how you looked on the multitudes and you had compassion. You said, I can't send these people home. They've been with me for a couple of days. We got to feed them. Even though you were tired and you wanted to get away, when they came to you, you had compassion, so you healed their diseases. God, help us to be like that. Help us to be like you. Both as individuals, as families, and as churches. So that we honor you. So we hear those words from you. Well done. Enter into your rest. God, that's our heart, that's our prayer. Thank you for each one of us here today. Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for loving us enough to bring us back. Lord, if there's anybody here who maybe they're at the place where you've had to break your leg, God, help them not to be mad, but help them understand that you are a shepherd and not a butcher. You are a shepherd and not a cattle driver. You are a loving shepherd. Who takes care of you. Thank you, God. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you for the parables that teach us. Thank you for your Spirit amongst us, God, that gives us life and strength. Just in a moment, right before we go, just take a second. All of us, every day should do this, I think. So just say, God, I rededicate myself to you. God, I want to be a sheep. I want to be faithful. I want to help me to see. Help me to see and respond. Forgive me for not seeing. Forgive me for overlooking. Forgive me for being too busy. Forgive me for not caring. Forgive me. God, help me to see and to respond. That's our prayer. That's our prayer as a church. Help us to do that. Thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for your love. In Jesus' name. Amen. God is good. It's good to be in the family of God. And it's good to be a part of the church. And it's good to see. This is a great turnout this morning. Please, everybody come back next week. Remember, we start a new series. The live is started. Oh, by the way, on Wednesday nights, this Wednesday we started new, for those of you who aren't involved in ministry somewhere else, which you are, great, appreciate it. But come out on Wednesday nights. We're going to start a new series called Authentic. Applies to this, authentic, being authentic. And how we, it's one thing to say, I want to be an authentic follower. It's another, how do we do that? And this is about developing the spiritual disciplines in our lives so that we can be authentic followers. Remember, we are not, as in the video we saw last week said, we are not human doings. So it's not about doing, it's about beings. We are human beings, and God calls us to be. He calls us to be. A tree doesn't produce fruit because it goes, I'm going to make some fruit today. It just is healthy. And when it's healthy, and when it's established, and its roots are connected to the source, it makes fruit. We don't want to be the fig tree. Jesus walked up to a tree because he saw it, and from a distance, it looked genuine. Remember? It looked real. And the leaves were blossoming. But when he got to it, there were no figs. And it's one of the times that Jesus reacted in anger the most and said, "You're dead." And the next day they decided to buy him and get bitter. Healthy one day, dead the next. Your wife was dead on the inside because it wasn't producing fruit. Let's be producing fruit. But again, we don't, I'm going to make fruit today. We connect to the source. And then that will naturally produce that fruit. Amen? Let me say I'll sign up for that. I'll be that. I want to be that. I want to be that. Every one of us is called to be that. Amen? Brother Pete, it's so great that you're here today. I want you to come.
Put you to work.
Yeah, man.
I still can do it.
You can still do it. I think that one's on. Is that one on?
We'll be on.
I know you got the pipes to do it. What do you guys do with the ones you guys
Can we sing this song?
I took him back.
Can we sing this song? Just to be his hand extended, reaching out to the oppressed. Let me touch him. Let me touch Jesus, so that others may know and be blessed. Oh, hallelujah. You got me going now. Once more, just once more. Oh, just to be his hand extended, oh, reaching out to the oppressed. Let me touch him. Oh, let me touch Jesus. Just let me touch Jesus, so that others may know morning for our message. We thank you for this service, Lord. And as we go back home, Lord, let us be that hand extended this week, Lord. Now may the presence of the Holy Spirit and may the Father and the Son go with you and keep you as you go your ways. Amen. And God bless you. Love you all.